choices. We make the choice to get up and run, go get some exercise, maybe jog a little bit, go throughout the neighborhood, say what's up to the neighbor every once in a while. Or we make the choice to play your daughter in basketball. Fairly, every time. Kobe. Or that infamous healthy diet. What are we gonna eat that's really healthy? The journey to the refrigerator. Oh, this fried chicken looks great, right? After we make that choice, we heat it up and then we attack it with reckless abandon. So, are our choices gonna drive us to the future? Or are they gonna keep us in the same stagnant place? You'll find that out and more in this video. Choices. We all make them, right? Think about it. Every day you get up, you make a choice on what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, what you're going to do, who you're going to talk to, things of that nature. And for us in audio, it's no different. Let me paint a picture. About a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, I made a choice to get the Flock audio patch. You know, it's probably one of the best choices I've made for my studio in recent memories. I know this is a review, and I'm gonna get to my pros and my cons of why I think this piece is extremely important. Most of you watching this video wanna know, what is the patch, what does it do, who is it for, how much money is it? And I promise to get to all of those in that order. But I really want to stress the point of what I think the patch is, what it means to me. Every about 10 to 15 years in music, there comes a piece of equipment that revolutionizes what we do as creators. I'm talking about from engineering to producing to even being an artist and songwriting. And I feel that the Flock audio patch is one of those pieces. And I'll get to that in a bit. It puts you in the mind of MIDIs back in the 80s. And then it also puts you in the mind of like an MPC, how revolutionary that was to the music industry, how revolutionary Pro Tools was to the music industry, or Pro Tracks, I think it was back then. It falls in that category. Also, the modern DAW and plugins, how crucial they have become to music making in just the past 10, 15 years. Well, the patch is right up there with some of the pieces I just named, especially if you have hardware. Really, if you have hardware in your studio, there comes a point to where you can stay in the same place and continue to do what you've been doing with the same results, or take a step into the future. And with the Flock audio patch, that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking a step into the future. So when I say future, I mean now. Really, because that's exactly that's where we're at in this whole journey, right? And this is what the patch is. It's incredible. And when I first heard about it, I was skeptical. I was doing my research. My homeboy called me like, yo, did you see this thing? And I was like, yeah, but how good does it work? Really good. And then when I found out just what it did, I had this wow moment. And it was just crazy to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been searching for, because I knew where I was in my whole studio career, my engineering career, my producing career, but I also knew where I wanted to go. And I think that is important. So what does the patch do? It's basically a discrete piece of hardware that is set in your studio, almost like a set it and forget it. But what it does, it acts as the middleman between your hardware pieces and your computer and your interface. And it is phenomenal. And I mean, absolutely phenomenal. It gives you so much flexibility as an engineer, almost to the point to where you start to create instead of just mundanely mixing the track and doing your normal things. It gives you room to grow. Also, more importantly, in my opinion, it gives you room to experiment. Now, what I've done with the patch, and I'll show you here in a second, I've paired it with my Big 6 which is incredible in its own right. It's flexible in its own right, but pairing it with the patch has taken it to a god level. And I'm going to be honest with you, because of the way that I have it set up. The patch itself comes with a software that almost works like a plugin, but not quite. The software itself is basically an overlay of whatever you're using. So it connects to your interface and you can connect your pieces to the patch through DB25. Once that's done, it's fair game. It's Creator City at that point. So then what you can do, you're not limited to just patch points itself, little itty bitty patches. Let me preface this. I don't have anything against the old way of doing things, but the new way of doing things with the patch is just, why would you not do that? It makes your life a lot easier, especially if you're in a hybrid studio or a home studio. That's where you want to be. I think that also this market, they got a bigger patch. I think it's called the XT. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that thing is gigantic. I hope to get there one day. But man, let me tell you, that is for you guys with a ton of hardware. That's going to be so important for your studio going forward, especially with how we're making music now. It's just a really forward-thinking piece of hardware itself. So who is this for? Well, it's for anyone that has hardware, but it also depends on where you're at in your journey. And I say that to say this: if you got 3-4 pieces of hardware and you have an interface to where you got that many inputs and outputs, this might not be for you. And if you know that's where you're gonna max out at, that's great. If you also have that same interface that has more inputs and outputs and you know you're going to be growing, this is definitely for you. And I'll get to the example in a second. What it does, it allows you to grow without any kind of restrictions, like the old school stuff. And I preface it by saying old school because it really is. We've had advancements in microphones. Now you got microphones that model other microphones that sound fantastic. We had advancement in plugins already. We've had advancements in DAW, but really rarely have we had advancements in hardware. I mean, you've had a couple advancements like the West Audio stuff and the Better Maker stuff. The patch falls right in line with that stuff, and Flock Audio has done a great job. Shouts out to Darren and the team over there because they are just killing it. So life is about choices and all your collective choices. And really that's what the patch does. It houses all your collective choices that you've made for your studio. It just houses it. And it makes it incredibly easy to use. And that's the part that I really love right there, is the ease of use. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this a 10 any day. And it's not hard to wrap your head around exactly how to use it. Even if you didn't have any kind of training on it, it's really easy to pick up and kind of get going. But it is best to get some sort of education on it first before you start using it. And that's what I'm gonna do right here. So let's get to that. Before I do, if you're finding this information helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It is totally free and it takes 5 seconds. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, but only subscribe if you're finding valuable information. I really don't want you to subscribe to my channel and then don't watch my videos. That kind of hurts me more than it helps me, so thank you. Before I jump to the desk here, I will say this, and this is just my opinion. I'm not being paid by anyone to say this. I feel like this is one of those pieces that is driving the industry forward in so many different ways, and it's super innovative. Now, I got plenty of pros, and there's a couple of cons that I'll also get to. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back. So we're gonna get to it here in a second, but those for you that's been watching this channel for a while, I know you spot the difference. There's a lot of them since the last time that I put out a major video, and we'll get to all of those in subsequent videos coming up. But hey, I appreciate the love, appreciate the support, all the new subscribers, freaking welcome. All right, so as you see, I got the patch right here. It's at the very top. Ooh. So as you see, I got the patch here at the very top. When I say it's been a nice addition to my studio, just because I knew where I wanted to go and I'm almost finally there. A couple more pieces. Gear lust is a real thing, okay? Don't make fun of it. It's serious. It can break up families. Ooh, I had a moment. I know y'all thought I was joking, but everyone else that has gear lust, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. I only hooked up a couple pieces here just for demo purposes, but I got it pulled up on the screen here. This is really it. So what I've done is I'm gonna put it on the master bus here as an insert, just so you can see. But this in itself, this is the patch software. So the icon looks like this, and it's really straightforward. You got all of your channels, and you got all of your instruments right over here. And I have about, I don't know, 8 more channels that I can do. I love stereo gear. That's why I'm just trying to fill it up and more. Yeah. So it's really easy. What I did is I designed the patch to basically mirror my interface, which is the Big 6. So on channels 1 and 2, I have inserts. Channel 3 and 4, I have inserts. Channel 5 and 6, I'm reserving because I can use those channels to go back out on the Big 6 and mix into something if I wanted to, like some or whatever. And then the 7 and 8 here that's my master bus. So what I've done, or my mix bus, I should say. So what I've done is I just put the dangerous compressor here on the mix bus and we'll have a go. But this is really it. And I'm gonna take this off and remove this really quick. So what I could do, you can go here, choose your hardware if you wanted to. You can drag and drop. You can create molts. I mean, this is a review. I really don't want to get into like a step-by-step guide. I'm just gonna fly through it and show you guys what it's about. But man, this thing's incredible. And keep in mind, this is software. This is software we got going on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the dangerous, drag and drop, boom, right there on my mix bus here. So I'm gonna bypass it. And what I'm gonna also do is really hit it hard. So hold on. All right, so I'm gonna hit the threshold hard. So when it comes in, you're gonna be able to hear it. So we got it bypassed right now. And if we go to Ableton here. Here we go. Simple as that. Simple as that. I promise you. I didn't do any kind of magic voodoo or anything. That's just really how it is. This thing acts like a plugin. That's actually what I think they should probably do next, is make some sort of plugin form of this or something to where you don't have to have the software. Not that I have a problem with it being an overlay or whatever, or a program running in the background. I don't have a problem with that. But I think the next step in evolution, it would be to create some sort of plugin for them. That would be so amazing. But I digress. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to stack hardware. Keep in mind, we're playing with hardware like it's a plugin, like it's software. So let's just put on the Fusion. All right, so I'm going to play. Oh, by the way, see up here where it says defaults, you can call up different mixes just by a click of a button. So if I call up my Big 6 default here, let's just do that. Don't save, discard, boom, there it goes. And then you can bring up other mixes that you've saved. It's just incredible. Like I said, the software is incredibly deep. Even the way that you set up instruments in the hardware. Here you can pair things, you can unlink things, or I'm sorry, you can pair them, you can unpair them, so you have the channels working individually. So if you really wanted to do some really cool stuff, you could do that. Sidechain things. Like, I'm a fan. I'm a real big fan, and I think the guys at Flock Audio did an incredible job. They're definitely one of my favorite hardware manufacturers, and that's the only piece that they make besides the other two versions, the XT and the LT. Correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize, but yeah, this stuff is fantastic. So let's get to it. All right, so let's actually see it in action, right? There's not much to see. It's discreet. Actually, I love it because it's like you can put it out of sight, out of mind. It's not like a pretty piece. It just does what it does, and that's what I like about it. It's more of a meat and potatoes piece, like one of those guys you ever work with them, they just come to work, do their job, and then leave, don't go for a drink and stuff. Those guys, and then they turn out to be psycho killers. Yeah, I don't think that's a psycho killer though. Yeah, so let's hear it. I'm gonna put the fusion in front of the dangerous. I'm gonna bypass the dangerous. Now we could do two things. We could bypass from the hardware, which I won't. I'm gonna bypass from here just so we can hear it. All right. So turn the fusion on. I'm gonna turn the drive on there, and let's just see. Let's bypass the fusion. Just like that. Now, I'm being extra. I'm pushing this stuff just so you can hear it. So when it comes in that you see it is working. But I mean, what more do you need to see? Now, what did you notice? I did not patch anything with my hands. The workflow is incredible. My Big 6 is in front of here. It's in front of me right here. I got my hardware right here, arm's length. Hardware right here, arm's reach, arm's length, whatever. I got my sidecar right here with my UF8 and my TC Helicon stuff within arm's reach. I mean, it's incredible. So therefore, if I wanted to patch those two pieces, you know, I would have to get out of my sweet spot and do that and go patch the points. Like, to me, that is archaic. That is super old school. Things have progressed to a point to where we don't have to do that. And the Flock Audio patch just does that. So what do you think so far? Let me know in the comments below. Even if you disagree with me and the points I'm making, I would love to hear why. Let's just not say in the comments, that's stupid or you're wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. You know, let's have a genuine conversation, or even if you think I'm right, tell me why. I love interacting with you guys. As you see, I try to answer as many comments as I can, just because I really do appreciate y'all, man, and what you guys have meant to this channel and the way the community is growing. By the way, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, man. That really helps me out. So without this video running too long, that is the patch in a nutshell. Like I said, this thing's incredible. But let me know, will you guys be picking up one? Will you not? Is this something that might be on your list to come soon? You know, it's just one of those things, and I'm gonna leave you with this. We can stay where we're at and be comfortable and not try new things, and that's fine. That works for some people. That works for some studios. Or you can get out of your comfort zone, try something new, and move forward with the times. And I feel like this is an iconic piece that is changing the industry almost overnight, especially if you deal with hardware. So these are just my thoughts. Shout out to the people at Flock Audio if you're seeing this. I think you guys did an incredible job. I can't wait to see what you got coming for the future, because if it's anything as close to this or as good as this, man, the consumers, us guys, we are in for a treat. That's been my analysis. That's been my review. That's been my conclusion. I am TouchTone DSG. I promise I will have more videos coming out now that I'm back in the swing of things, guys. I appreciate y'all being patient. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. Until next time, TBR, baby. Thoughts become reality. Peace.